everyone, and welcome to Fit Fridays. My name is Azucena Gonzalez. I am a group fitness instructor in several different gyms here in the Valley. And today I'm here to talk about 3 different macronutrients that fuel your body, okay? I'll go over as to what each one of them does because they do have different purposes. And we need typically all 3 of them. Now, the 3 that I'm going to be talking about are carbs, proteins, and fats. So carbs, aka carbohydrates, can be either simple or complex in nature. And the thing to remember about them is that they help sustain high intensity activities over a long amount of time. For example, being married to a previous runner, we'll talk about having to carb up the day before to get ready to run really long distances, right? And you hear other people, I need a carb up for this, this, and this. Of course, because your body's going to be storing some of that energy for those long endurance events. Another thing to know about carbohydrates is that they help fuel parts of the body that protein doesn't. You're probably thinking, what? I know. So protein is not the only thing that helps fuel your body. It also helps fuel the brain and other parts of the body that cannot be, like I said, fueled by proteins and fat, okay? Now, the other one is protein. I always say, what is that? Protein, protein, protein. If you're all into fitness, make sure you maximize your protein. Now, you have to be strategic in the protein that you get because it helps repair your muscle, because essentially when you work out, you're tearing your muscles and they rebuild, getting bigger, right? Now, we all know that when you stop working out, you can also lose the progress that you've made. Anyways, so it's always easier to maintain versus always instead of doing this, it's easier to just maintain once you hit the certain level that you're looking for, okay? Just something to be mindful of. But proteins, like I said, help with the development and maintenance of muscles. They also help with fluid balance, blood clotting, immune function, hormone regulation. They also serve to carry other nutrients. So I'm just saying, one thing that comes up with proteins are amino acids. Those are important because there's some that cannot be made by the body. So your essential amino acids are the ones that cannot be made by the body. So your non-essential are the ones that your body can make. Okay, so just something to be mindful of. If you're like, ooh, what are the essential ones, or what are the non-essential? I'll leave that up to you to look up. Again, I'm just gonna quickly go over these. If you do have any questions, I highly recommend you speak with your nutritionist, you speak with your dietitian, your doctor. That way they can provide you with the most accurate information for your scenario, because again, this is just very topical information, okay? The next one, again, is fat. Now you're like, oh my gosh, you said the F word. Yes, I'll say it again, fat. Anyway, fats are actually a really good thing. They help you feel satiated, meaning full. I love feeling full. I love fats. I mean, and you know what I'm talking about? You have your good fats from like nuts, avocados, and there's nothing wrong with that. You also have other ones that you can get from, like, obviously olive oil and all that kind of coconut oil and stuff. We do need those. Your body needs a certain level of fat to be able to function at its best, okay? That's why nobody's like, oh, I'm gonna be 0% fat. You're like, huh? Because, let me tell you why. Fat is important because it helps your cell membrane structure. So the cells, right, the little particles in your body that make up the entire you, need fat to kind of keep them insulated and together. I'd say that's a pretty important job, keeping me together. You know what I'm saying? It also helps with the protection and insulation of vital organs. Now, don't be like, all right, that's why, yeah, I'm super protected. No, boo. It doesn't need to be visible to be protecting you. But, it does help in cold nights. Anyways, no, but it really does help provide some sort of insulation and a barrier for you and your organs. Okay, so that's when nobody strives I can't say nobody, but you know, there's a minimum amounts of body fat that you need for your body to, you know, carry out its normal functions. That being said, again, we have carbs, proteins, and fats. Now, different diets do restrict certain amounts of each one, right? Say you're, I can't say, like for example, the keto diet, they're huge on proteins, right? A lot of it is protein intake, limiting carbs and that kind of stuff. A lot of people in general want to limit carbs. Carbs are not the devil, you know what I mean? But you do need to make some sort of change to your diet. And that doesn't mean cutting out carbs, because there's simple and complex. Here you have like your complex would be like grains, and then you have your simple, which is like sugar. You see where I'm going with this? Your grains are going to be healthier than your sugar, right? And like when I say sugar, it could be like the carbs in your soda. You're like, what? I'm gonna pull something out for you real quick. I know, I'm the worst. But this isn't the one I like. Mine is worse, the one I like. Okay, so look, if we look at the nutrition facts, it's 140 calories, we have 0 grams of fats, we have 45 milligrams of sodium, which we're not really looking at. I'm looking at the carbs. 39 grams of carbs. That's 14%. And this is based off 2,000 calories a day. It doesn't say it on here, but that's usually whatever they package food. It's like based on the 2,000 calories a day. The recommended intake of 2,000 calories a day. 0 proteins. Total sugars, 39. So, you know, the carbs that you're going to get out of this, probably not the best. And they're also not, let's say, from a tree, from a natural source, right? Because this is super processed. Now, when we look at peanuts, I should have had these with me earlier. When we look at peanuts, you have 7 grams of protein, and you have 5 grams of carbs. Obviously, you eat peanuts because they taste good. Or if you like them and if you're not allergic to them. But you eat them because of the protein they have. But it goes to show that some food sources contain more than just one type of macronutrient, right? Because here we also have 15 grams of total fat. Then we have saturated fat and there's trans fat. So, you know, it's really hard for me to sum up in one video, like all this that you need to know. Like each one has its own different branches, but it's important for you to really start understanding like what you're putting into your body. Because when people say you need to limit your carbs, do you see how many carbs that soda had? Again, I'm not saying that you need to cut soda out. You do whatever is best for you. I was talking to a realtor friend of mine, and she said, you know what? I told the dietitian, have me do whatever, but make sure that I can have 1 can of soda a day. Like, that's the thing. I'll do anything, but that's my limit, right? And I'm like, I respect that, because you know what that means? That means that that is sustainable. And that's what this is all about. Creating a sustainable lifestyle where you're going to be healthy, but also happy. You know what I'm saying? So get to know what that is for you. All right, it's gonna take some tweaking here and there because it's not going to be perfect. You might be like, oh, get rid of everything. And then days you're gonna be like, let me eat everything back. Like I need it back in my life. You know what I'm saying? You kind of go through this and that's okay. You just pick up where you left off and you keep it moving. That's the biggest thing. Like I say in Zumba all the time, there are no mistakes, only inspired solos. You might get a little inspired with your food and whatnot. And you might be like, ooh, that was an interesting choice. But whatever, dude, do not let that, discourage you from the path. You keep on going on the path that you want to, which hopefully is a really good one. Anyways, I digress. That is all for today. Remember, carbs, proteins, and fats. Take a look at them. There's definitely micronutrients that you should know about as well, but that shall be for another day. Anyways, have a wonderful Friday. Let me know what you think, and until next time.